some of you guys to come in and move that out of the way. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to talk about something, you guys. Come on in. I know some of you guys are busy. This is May. Okay, we're going into May. The month of May. People's bills got to be paid. People are moving. People are changing jobs. People are transforming and transmuting. I want to say something. I want to talk about the concept of death. Okay, the concept of death is wrong. Okay, what we have been told about death, even the process of death. Okay, death, the body. Okay, the physical body. Okay, we have more than one body. Okay, but let's talk about, we have the spiritual body. The spiritual body is the celestial body, and then we have the physical body. So we're going to stay on the topic of the physical body, okay, and the spirit body. The reason why I say this is because this is not a reading, but this is information that I've got as a psychic about the process of death. Okay, when we look at death, we look at ending, right? But death is neither ending. Death is ending in beginning. Okay, hold on, you guys. Some guy just like put his whole body on my car. Okay, his whole body. His whole body on my car. Like well, it's not my car. It's my daughter's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend's car. They're on vacation. But my oldest daughter. So let me explain something. So death is a process. Okay, death and birth is a process. Okay, now death, I talked about, I just want to stay on death because you know I'll go everywhere, you guys. So the concept of death we have wrong. Okay, and the reason why I know the concept of death is wrong is because of my spiritual walk. Even me communicating with ancestors, me communicating with other people that have crossed. Okay, spirits that have crossed. Okay, people don't believe that you can talk to spirits. Okay, in the biblical sense, it says that when you talk to spirits, you're not talking to you're not talking to a familiar spirit. Okay, that's not true. Okay, that is what the Caucasoids, the white people, have wrote in their books. So you don't talk to your ancestors, but you have to know who you're talking to. Okay, so let's talk about death. So when I talk to my ancestors on the other side, they say that we are, I wouldn't say dead, because when you say dead, you walk away from the Christ conscience, right? The Christ conscience lives within us. Okay, we are the Christ conscience. Okay, we activate the Christ conscience within us. Okay, there's many ways to activate the Christ conscience. One is the heart chakra, right? Being able to receive and give. Okay, and connecting to the universe. Okay, in many ways. Okay, so the death process, okay, the way we perceive death is wrong. Okay, the cemeteries is, if you look at it, okay, the cemeteries is a place where they hold the soul. Okay, they actually hold the physical body and the soul body. Okay, the celestial body. Okay, and that's why it's a cemetery. Okay, it's very interesting with cemeteries, because cemeteries are places where the whole funeral, okay, when you have a funeral, okay, I'm going to talk, I'm going to do a lot of videos on some educational stuff out here, okay? Funerals are ritual, okay? Ritual, okay? Everybody that had been to a funeral or participated in a funeral or had a funeral, you had a ritual, okay? If there was a ritual performed, your family member, yourself, if you had to bury a loved one, it's a ritual, okay? When my dad died, I didn't have a funeral and all that stuff. I had what I called a celebration of life, okay? Because he was going to another place, okay? Another dimension, okay? Um, Consciously, still I speak to my dad. I'm talking about my father. My father that um that's my seed, okay? I'm his seed, okay? um and I want to say something. It was very, very interesting when I did that read on Adriana Young, you guys. Youngs, okay? Her last name is Youngs, okay? She was from South America, Guyana. I want to say something. When the dad said that he felt in the belly, that his daughter was alive, his daughter was in that hotel, okay? He had a connection, okay? A spiritual, strong connection that many of us have with family members, well, mostly with our children, and our grandchildren, okay? And our mother and father, okay? It's that interknowing, okay? It's that connection, that spiritual connection, okay? Not just on that the physical connection, but that spiritual connection, okay? There's many times where you knew something was wrong with your kids and you could have been in a different location. It happens to me all the time, okay? I can feel when something's wrong with one of my kids, okay? It's because of the connection that we have in the belly, okay? That intuition, we know, okay? So let's talk about the death process. So the death process is a lie, okay? The death process is a lie, okay? So when you're planning your funeral, which is your ritual, okay, you need to know what is happening, okay? Because what is happening is when your body is placed in that graveyard, that cemetery, right? A lot of souls that are placed there, because it's a ritual, okay? Not just it's a ritual. The main thing is souls are being trapped, okay? Trapped, okay? Because they're being stuck energetically in that space, okay? Space. The cemetery is if you see some cemeteries, if you ever notice a cemetery, I wish I have, matter of fact, there's one right by me. The thing about cemeteries is to keep the soul body trapped, okay? A cemetery is to keep the soul body trapped, okay? This is why you don't bury your loved ones in a cemetery, okay? You bury your loved ones in your backyard, okay? You can bury them how you want to bury them, but you don't bury them in a cemetery. I'm telling you guys, there is many times when I even visit my father at the cemetery, because his body's not there, okay? I have his ashes, okay? Even the body being buried, okay? It's a ritual. You know how, okay, so say somebody dies, right? So you have the funeral, which is a ritual. You're performing the ritual for the person, right? So this physical body, the flesh body, okay, I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. It means nothing, but it does mean something while you're still here on this realm of existence, okay? Because you have to take care of the physical body. The most important body is the spiritual body, okay? But you have to take care of both of them because you're operating with both bodies, physical and spiritual body, okay? So when we have funerals, it is a ritual, okay? Who says that you have to have a funeral? Okay? This is the corporation, okay, that's telling you that you have to have a funeral. Why is this corporation telling you you have to have a funeral? I'm going to tell you why. Because they make money off of funerals. Okay? They make money off of the actual funeral, okay? Because you have to pay for the plots. People are worried about paying for plots, what, $10,000? I don't know how much plots are now. 3,000, 4,000. I don't know. Okay. They're so worried about, oh, I have to buy, oh my goodness, I have to go buy this plot. Um, I'm not going to be buried in no cemetery. Okay. I am not going to be buried in no goddamn cemetery. And the reason why I say this is because when I go to the cemetery, right, my dad is not there. My dad is not at the cemetery. Okay. Don't get it fooled. Your loved one is not at that damn cemetery. You guys, I remember the last time I went to my father's cemetery and my dad was like, why are you even here at the cemetery? Because I'm not here. But it was a way of me feeling comfort, but I felt comfort all the time because he's around me all the time. So I don't need to go to a cemetery. Okay? I don't need to. And I will not be buried in that cemetery. Okay? I will not be buried cuz in that plot. Okay? You won't put my name's not going to be on nobody's plot. When I'm going to be cremated, and I'm going to tell you why. When the body is not cremated, okay? You can go right now to your loved one's grave, right? You can dig up their grave, and I bet you there's not going to be a body in that coffin. Let me say this again. There is not going to be a body in that coffin. Okay? I seen a video where a guy went to visit his daughter. She passed away, and her body he wanted to, I guess, I don't know what he wanted to do with the body. I don't know if he wanted to like cremate the body. I don't know. Okay? Because he was not educated. Okay? So he was wondering if her body was there. Her body was not there. Okay? He went there, I think this was in Georgia. And her body wasn't there. I don't know if it was Georgia or what, a southern state, and her body was not there. And this is why when you go to cemeteries, you also see gates around the cemetery. Because they don't want those spirits leaving out the cemetery, and they don't want people coming in the cemetery. Okay, that's why, think about it. Why does some cemeteries have gates? Okay, they don't want them souls coming out that cemetery. Okay, they don't talk about this, but I'm going to talk about this today. Okay, and I'm going to talk about other things that we need to talk about. Okay, so a funeral, you don't have to have a funeral. Okay, you can be buried in your backyard. Okay, the physical body does mean something because we are on this physical plane of existence as we know it, right? But the spirit body comes before the physical body, right? The spirit body is the most important body, is because when you transcend, okay, or transition, right, your physical body doesn't go with you. Okay, your spirit body transcends. Okay, the light body. Okay, the energy, well, you could say energy because it just looks like energy. Okay, so be mindful of this. Death is a corporation. Funeral homes or a corporation, they're making billions and billions of dollars off of people's death. Okay, just like hospitals are making billions and billions of dollars off of birth. Okay. These are corporations. Um, and people are worried about how they're going to be buried, and all this other stuff. If you have a home where you own the property and you want to make your last wishes, be buried on your damn property. You can have your body put, if you want, you put your body there, you can. But the thing about the body is, I want you guys to be careful with the body, because the body is very interesting, because there's things happening that have been happening for a very long time with the physical body after in the cemeteries. Okay. That is not, how can I say it, um I don't know how to say this, but um that is not, I don't even know how to damn say this. I suggest you don't get buried in a cemetery. And the reason why is because what happens is some most everybody that gets buried in a cemetery, most half the people that get buried in a cemetery, um they're trapped in that space. Okay. um I know certain religions, they don't like to cremate, but I will be cremated. Okay. Either my ashes will be thrown in the damn water. Okay, most likely, because that's probably what I would want. Is to throw my damn ashes in the damn body of water. Okay. Now I am holding on to my father's ashes, and I'm holding on to ashes, but he's not even here. Okay. Now, people ask me this, and I'll never forget. Somebody asked me on my channel, "Is it good to hold on to ashes?" Yes and no, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the person has already transcended. Now, some people choose not to transcend because, or transition, is because they feel like they have to still hang around. Okay, they feel like whatever they were doing here is not finished. Okay, which it is finished, because once you leave this dimension, everything is done. Okay. So what's happening is, when we leave out the physical body and we exit out, right? Um, we leave with our spiritual body, so our celestial body. Um, what is happening is, when you come out of your physical body, there's two things that is happening. Okay, one one of the thing, one of it is, you might go to this space, a space that looks like a void. Okay, the void space is just a black space. Okay, and you're just trying to like fill your way through the space of this void that looks like nothing but black space. Okay, now some people that exit out, okay, hey M struggles, they see a bright ass light. Okay, or they might see this long ass tunnel. Okay, and at the end of this tunnel, there's this bright light, right? So you might decide, oh, I'm gonna go to the light, because we're always told that the light is where we're supposed to go. It's not the light that we're supposed to go. Okay, the light is where we get reincarnated back in, is when we go to the light. Okay, you're supposed to go to that void. It looks like, to me it looks like space, what I see it as a psychic. Okay, every psychic may see it differently. Okay, and some spirits need help to cross over. Okay, some spirits need help to cross over. Okay, some spirits are stuck here and they need help to transcend, and not just transcend, but to transcend and go on to where they're supposed to go. Okay, I'm talking about higher dimensions. Okay, so some people need help, and this is a lot of people that I'm seeing need help um, to cross over to go to another dimension, okay? Where they're not stuck on this earth realm that they call this, okay? Because you have spirits that are still walking on this earth realm, okay? They're still walking around, their energy's still here, because what we are is energy, okay? So their energy is still, wherever you've been, your energy will always be there, right? But I'm talking about death. So when we cross, we transcend and we transform, okay, into the spiritual body, okay? Some people need help being crossed over, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story. I have many stories, okay? Many stories. And this story that I'm about to tell you is a true story, okay? You may not believe it, and that's okay. I remember when I was doing a reading on Summer Moon Utah Wells, and there was a Spanish Mexican boy who came to me, okay? Now, I was laying in my bed, I was sleeping. He came to me. You guys, he did not come to me in no silhouette, okay? He came to me in his physical form, okay? So when I seen him, I was laying in my bed and I look at, you know how you're laying in bed and you just look up and you just look. I looked at my door, my bedroom door, and there was somebody standing there, okay? This wasn't no silhouette, this was his full body, okay? So this told me automatically that he has not crossed, okay? He was still walking around, okay? And the reason why he was still walking around and the reason why he didn't cross is because of his mother, okay? Not just that, he wanted his truth to come out of what happened to him, okay? He was murdered. He was murdered in Tennessee. Not just murdered, his organs was taken out. So at that time when he came to me, I told him, look, right now I'm sleeping. I'm not getting up. Okay, I'll talk to you when I wake up. So I remember that day I was on a live video and he was sitting right beside me and he wanted me to tell his story. Okay. How they pulled him over. Okay. They didn't pull him over. He was walking. Okay. Walking to the store. It was like a corner store by his house. And a police officer, okay, pulled him over and started asking him questions, okay? And he didn't think nothing of it because, you know, he just walking from the store, you know, naive, young, and not thinking like his life was in danger, but his life was in danger, okay? So he came to me and I told him that night I was not, because a lot of times they come at night, okay, because they know that you are we call it the resting, but we're not really resting, we're always awake, okay, because we're really not sleeping at night, okay? So the concept of sleep is not even, I can do a whole video on that, okay? But anyways, I was in my bed sleeping, okay, and I told him, he came to me, I looked at him at the door, okay. At first I was shocked because I didn't know if it was a family member, because I didn't know if somebody was going to pass away, okay? Because I heard a knocking, okay? Normally when you hear the knocking, that means somebody's going to cross over, okay? But so that next day, I woke up and he told me his story and I shared it with the world on one of my videos if you watch it, okay? So the death process is a ritualistic, the death process is not just a ritualistic, it's a way for corporations to make money off of death, okay? So going forward in your life, if you choose to worry about a grave site, The reasons why, and they know that people, they're gonna miss their loved ones, and they're gonna miss their animals, and they're gonna want to go visit these grave sites. Okay, this is all a lie. Okay, we have been lied to. Okay, we've been lied to, and we have been deceived. Okay, and this all stems around money. Okay, money, corporations to make money off of death. Okay, so you don't have to have a casket, you don't have to have a funeral. Okay, you don't have to do all that. Now some religions, or yeah, religions, they have a particular way of how they choose to bury the body. Okay, is it good to hold on to ashes? Honestly, no. And the reason why I say this is because it's not good to hold on to the ashes, because they're not here, and there's no need to hold on to the ashes. Okay, there's no need for it. Okay, they're not here. Some people hold on to the ashes because it's a comfort. Okay, it's a comfort of, and a reminder of the person, but the person is still around you. You can just talk to them. Okay, they will present themselves in some way. Okay, the best way they know how to present themselves to you, because some people are not open to receive the messages or the communication, because we have been taught, oh, it's evil to talk to a spirit. Okay, no, it's not evil to talk to a spirit. Okay, I've been talking to spirits since I was a child, and I'm not an evil person. Okay, I have a my heart. Okay, so that's bullshit. Okay, bullshit. Okay, so when you think about arranging your funeral, think about this. Okay, you don't have to have a plot. You don't have to have none of that. Okay, people are worried about having plots and stuff. I'm not gonna have a plot. Okay, when I leave this dimension, my kids are gonna have me cremated. Okay, get my ashes, which I pray they get my ashes. Okay, that's for another video. Okay, and dump my ashes in the body of water. Okay, that is where my ashes are gonna go, and they can say goodbye to me. And I'm gonna tell them, don't. It's hard to say don't mourn for me, but celebrate me, because I'm going to another place. Okay, so celebrate me. So what my dad was, I had a celebration of life, because he was going to another place, and it was a celebration. Okay, the concept of death is wrong. Okay, we think of death as the last, the end. Okay, there's no ends and there's no beginning. So we never die. We live eternal. Our souls are eternal. But the thing is that we need to have a conversation is, where do our souls go? Okay, the cemeteries are where they take souls to be. It's like a prison. Cemeteries are prisons to keep your soul bound to this physical realm. That is what a cemetery is. And it's hard when you talk to people that have had lost children. Okay, you can choose whatever you want to choose out here. Okay, I'm just telling you the concept of death that I know. Okay, and some spirits, many spirits need crossed over. Okay, and there's people out here that I don't know a lot of people, but I have crossed spirits over. Okay, do I want to be in the business of crossing spirits over? Not really. Okay, but if a spirit comes to me and I can cross them over, I will do it. Okay, and let me tell you guys something. Real spiritual people that are doing real spiritual work out here, it's not this spiritual this spiritual walk is no joke. Okay, it is no joke. It's not to be played with. Okay, And it not just not to be played with. Many people are not cut out for this kind of work. Okay, they're not. Okay, hey Christina, hey M Struggles, they're not cut out for this work. Grand Rising, I'm not mourning for nobody. When we say good morning, we are mourning for somebody. Okay, I am not mourning for nobody. Okay, I say grand rising because we're rising to a new day. Okay, um, this is another thing. The language that we use is also a form of spell work. It's also a form of manipulation, and also a form of rituals that we're performing every day, and we don't even know we're performing it. So the death. So you don't have to worry about buying no expensive ass cemetery plot. Okay, if you own land, be you can be buried on that land. Okay, um, if you want to put your physical body on that land, that's fine. If you want to be cremated, that's fine. Whatever you want to do out here is what you want to do. But my thing is, do not get buried in a cemetery, because I'm telling you, what's happening is when people get buried in cemeteries, they are being, first of all, there's something happening to the ashes in the body, okay? That I don't even talk about, because I know once I talk about that, my video might be taken down. So I'm gonna have to do that in another video and switch my words up around, okay? um let's put it, is being ingested. Okay, is being ingested. Okay, I did a video on I'll do another video on that. Okay, I did a video in the past about what's going on and what we're ingesting and what is happening and what is transpiring and transmuting. Okay, so what you guys need to look at is when you plan your funerals. Okay, because it's not good to talk about the death, but we need to talk about it. So the death process is a lie. The death process is a lie. Okay, I'm doing good. The death process is a lie. So you don't have to have a stone. You don't have to, the way they say that you have to bury the body is a lie. Okay, and don't get buried at no damn cemetery. Okay, you're gonna spend tens of thousands of dollars to be buried at a cemetery, and this physical body doesn't mean nothing, because when we leave out of here, it's our spiritual body. Okay, and the only reason they have the cemetery and the graves is so people can go there and they can feel like, oh, I can go talk to my loved one. You can just talk to your loved one in the car, in your house, on a walk. Okay, so the funeral homes are making money off of lies. It's a corporation. It's a big corporation because they're making lots of money, and souls are being trapped in the cemeteries. Okay, trapped in the cemeteries. One of my friends in Florida, I don't know if she's on my live. She had to go somewhere and she had to go knock on her grandfather's stone to wake him up. Okay, what's also, she had to knock on his damn burial stone to wake his ass up. Okay, what's happening too is when you go into the cemetery, it's like you are, when you leave the physical body and you go and you're buried in the cemetery, it's like you're not even awake. Okay, you're asleep. Okay, in a coma state. Okay, that's what's happening. The body is in a coma state. So if you're in a coma state, how are you going to transcend and transmute? Okay, transcend to another dimension. Okay, and that's what else is happening. Bodies are becoming in a coma state, a sleep state. Okay, where they can't transcend to the next place they're supposed to go, the next dimension. Okay. So there's a lot of souls that are in the cemetery that are asleep. They're in a coma state. I say a coma state. Okay. Because they don't even know they're dead. Okay. I can get deep into this, you guys. Okay. And then when some people go into the cemetery, they awaken some of these souls. Okay. Um, Tell me you guys' thoughts on this and stuff. I don't know a lot of people that work in the business where they, well, if you think about it, there is people that work in the business of, um, there is people that work in the business of um, um, helping souls transition to um, from this physical plane to the spiritual plane. And the people that do that are people that work in hospice, nurses, okay. They do this. They help people they get them comfortable to transcend or transition to another place, okay. So the process of the funeral, the process of the cemetery, um, is to put you back to sleep. Okay, if you're consciously awake, is to put you back to sleep, your spirit body and your physical body. Okay, and we don't need to be consciously in a coma state. Okay, we need consciously. We don't need to be in a sleep state when we're transitioning. We need to just transition. Okay, and the false light. Okay, it's a false light. It's not even a real light. Okay, um, it's a false light. Okay. And this is why when some of you guys talk to your loved ones, your ancestors, this is why it's so important to get back to your roots. Okay, because when the ancestors used to die, they weren't when they were over here and they learned from the people that wrote the Bible and the people that, they're all lies, you guys. A lot of these things are lies. So they taught us like we had to be buried. Okay, it's not true. Okay, this was a way of them um keeping souls on the physical plane. Okay, this was a way of them keeping souls on the physical plane in a coma state, a sleep state. Okay, but there is people that help people transition over or cross over. So if you have a spirit around you and you want them to cross over, you say, you tell them you need to cross over. You need, we're okay here. Okay, my dad was holding on, he was holding on to live, and I'm like, Poppy, we're gonna be okay. Okay, you can go. Okay, because he was in a lot of pain. Okay. Um, and then towards the end, he was in no pain. Okay, so spending money on a headstone, spending money on a whole funeral process. I mean, it's a ritual. And we all have been a part of a ritual as far as the funeral at some point. I've never had to actually, um, never in my life, my 46 years, I've never had to plan a celebration of life. Okay, my dad was the first one that I had to plan a celebration of life, and that is also was preparing me for when my mother, when it's her time, I'm also going to have a celebration of life. Okay, and I'm not burying her. Okay, she will be cremated, and she will be put in the body of water. Okay, um, and this is what's going to happen. Okay. So you guys comment below your thoughts about this. We can talk about this even more. So so I want to talk about one more story and then I'm going to end this because I want to be here a long time because you guys know I can talk. So I remember when I would tell you guys a story about my my niece's mother. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, she was murdered. Okay, her husband murdered her. It was on the news. He stabbed her 99 times. Okay, um, and this was her husband. They both were from Trinidad and Tobago, but she was my niece's mother. Okay, the oldest child that she had was my niece. So she was my brother's daughter and his only daughter. Okay, she's in law school right now. Okay, I'm going to tell her story because her story will help some people out here. Okay, so I will tell her story. Okay, um, and I feel like her story will help people that are dealing with domestic violence. Okay, because I know she knew she was gonna die. Okay. Also, I did a read on recently, um, and the girl, she was with baby, and I did a read on her, and I told her that if she did not stop doing as much things as she was going to do, like if she didn't stop doing what she was doing as far as stressing, worrying, and ripping and running, and also not working on her marriage, and her husband not helping, playing his role, playing his part, that this baby would not, it was a good chance this baby wasn't going to come full term. And this baby did not come full term. Okay, I got the text message. I don't want to really share their privacy, but I want to share this with you. So I'm gonna do a video too on babies that have been aborted, and babies that have what happens to babies when you have abortion, and also what happens to babies that cross over. Okay, so I will do a video on Melissa's story, and I will also do a story on babies. Okay, because her dad came to her. The girl I was reading on. She's one of my regulars from Florida. She's a beautiful girl. She might be watching this video. Beautiful soul, and I'm sorry for her loss. I really am sorry for her loss. Okay, because she was really concerned, and in her heart she knew. Okay, she knew. And I knew that, and I don't like to tell people that their baby won't make it. Okay, but um I had to tell her, okay, that if she didn't take care of her health, which a lot of black women have issues with, minority women would have, is high blood pressure. Her baby didn't come full term. Okay, but her baby didn't even come in. Okay, so her baby was already on the spiritual realm, and still is on the spiritual realm, because that baby never came through. This is why I want to do a video on the babies that don't come through. So I'm going to do a video today on babies, people that have abortion, what happens to babies, and babies that are in your stomach that are not, that don't even come through. Okay, because that soul doesn't even come, that soul is still there where that soul was supposed to come in. Okay, and I will do a video on that. But there is people that help transition souls and spirits over, and that is people that are in the hospice community. That is people that are nurses, because if you talk to a nurse or somebody in the hospice, they have many stories. Okay, but some souls do need transitioned over. They need to be told, okay, it's okay to go. Okay, um, and they need help being crossed over. Okay, this was an old way. They had people back in the day, in the black communities, that would help the souls cross over. Okay, Yes. Yes. Okay. But I will come back on with some more videos, you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. I hope you have nothing but blessings, abundance, new opportunities. If this is a career opportunity, if this is a new environment opportunity, moving in a new direction, moving in a different place. If this is just a, also, I wish you nothing but abundance and blessings on your journey. Okay, we're all on this journey, this spiritual journey, and this is what I get. Okay, as a psychic. Okay, because first and foremost, I'm psychic. Okay, so this is what I get. Okay, many people are out here might be a obia person, okay, obia woman, obia man, okay. They can bring the spirits in, and the spirits take over and they speak, okay. It's very it's real, okay. I had it done a lot of times where spirit will come through me and speak, okay. One of the last persons that have came through me and spoke was that lady from South Africa. um what's her name? She came, she was a singer and she died too soon. She was actually poisoned. um if you notice in my video, my mouth wasn't really moving. It was moving and was speaking, but it was her speaking, okay. um oh, I forget her name. She's a famous singer from South Africa. um I was in a trance and she was speaking, okay? But so this video is on death, okay? So death, um oh, and yeah, Adriana Youngs, okay? When I did her um channeling and trance, I had to stop it, okay? There's two reasons why I had to stop that trance. One, because it wasn't her. It was her, but the way my body was feeling, okay, because not everybody can be in a trance state, okay, because when you're in a trance state, you can literally, like, if you don't know how to be in a trance state, or you know, like, you can't be doing trance, being a trance. Be careful out here if y'all doing going into trance states. Let me just say that first of all, first and foremost, okay. But what happened to her when I was channeling her in that trance, I was feeling everything she was feeling. So when you are truly doing trance and you're in a trance state, you are feeling, you're taking on that person's, what they were feeling in the physical form. Okay, so I will do other videos on this, okay. So this is about death. You guys comment about your experiences with death, your thoughts of death. If you're psychic out here, medium, your experience. But the cemetery is definitely a place where you are put to sleep or put into a coma state. Okay. Um, the one of the girls from Florida. I have a lot of people that I work with from Florida. I used to live in Florida. I grew up in Florida. She had to go to her granddaddy's grave and wake him up. Wake up, granddaddy. I need your help. Okay? All right? All right, you guys. This is Jennifer Felix. Thank you guys for joining me. I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for the support to my channel. Tell me you guys' thoughts, because everybody may have different experiences as psychics, mediums. So tell me your thoughts, okay? This is what I have experienced, okay? All right, you guys. Thank you. Ashe.